up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review for Family of Fiance Season 1, Episode 25. This is the Ashley and William story. Listen, I'm all over the place with this, so y'all just going to have to bear with me. There's a lot going on. So, Ashley and William met because they worked together. He was actually her supervisor, which that's already an issue. Somebody called HR. Hello? But whatever. Second thing is, she was still technically married. Now she was on the way. They were on their way to divorce court. You know, they weren't together, but on paper, she was still married. And immediately after her divorce was final, she's in this committed long-term relationship with Mr. William, and they now ready to get married. So the reality is, neither family feels like they're ready. Neither Will nor Ashley feel like they're been accepted by the other family. Now, Ashley, with her, is her grandmother, her brother, and her cousin. Now, let me say this. Throughout this whole episode, ain't nobody said nothing about the mama. They didn't say where the mama was, who the mama was, or none of that. And you definitely got the impression that grandmama raised her and her brother. We're going to get back to that. That's a whole interesting family dynamic. With William, it's his mom, his sister, and his cousin. Now, his mother is like, listen, at the end of the day, I just don't think she's ready for marriage. Like, she has not had time to mourn her marriage, to mourn that situation. She went straight from one to the other, and I just don't want to see my son get his heart broken. Legit concerns. I feel the same way. I agree, mama. I agree. So, they get there, and immediately, her brother will not shake William's hand. He said it's because of germs, but here's the thing. That could very well be legit, because there are people who are germaphobes or, you know, very OCD. We know that Howie Mandel does not shake hands, and he has not for years. That has just been a thing for him. He will fist bump you, and he's very, very OCD. It's been documented, and there are a lot of people who are like that. They don't, and so the not shaking the hand situation may very well have been legit, but the way he went about doing it is what pissed William off. Now, you're not going to make somebody shake your hand, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll come back to that whole situation. But I just want to let you know, that's where it popped off. Brother feels like William is too controlling, and he don't like him, and at this point, I don't even know why brother came, because I don't even think there was anything that William could have done or said that would have got brother on his side. William could have showed up with a brand new damn Maybach for the whole family, and brother, I think, still would have had a problem with him. I just don't think it was anything he could do, so I don't even know why he was there. But we've seen, you know, harsher people come in the door and walk out the door feeling differently. So, the other thing we find out is that Miss Ashley is a budding Instagram model, I guess. But she's already at a point where people are paying her to do ads for her. So she must have a pretty big following. She's into fitness, so I don't know if she works at a gym. I don't know if she's a personal trainer, or she's got a nice body and people pay her to wear their fitness equipment. I don't know. I mean, outfits. I don't know. I ain't dig that deep. But what I do know is that William has a problem with her Instagram post, and so does William's family. Because cousin showed up with a whole issue talking about Ashley was on Instagram posted naked, and she had a problem with it, and she thought that was inappropriate, and it was disrespectful to her brother. And then when they showed the post, so we went through this whole long thing, and Ashley was like, well, first of all, I wasn't naked, because, like, it looked like she was naked, and then she had emojis covering up certain parts of her body. And she was like, well, first of all, I wasn't naked, and I was getting paid. It was an ad. I didn't think it was distasteful, because I wasn't showing anything. The cousin was like, yeah, but the emojis was covering it up, so basically you were nude, you just didn't show it. And William is not on Instagram. I mean, he's not on social media. So basically, he can only go by what other people tell him. And the one thing I did pick up from brother is that he feels like William is very controlling. And we started seeing, in my opinion, we started seeing some of that control. Now, how much control she's willing to give him, that's on her. But if he is controlling her to the point where she's no longer being who she is, then obviously that's an issue. Like, we know that. William also seems to have an anger issue. That could be dangerous as well. Controlling, anger issues, that's a checklist for some future abusive situation. I ain't saying William is abusive. I'm saying I saw some signs of some things that I wouldn't have necessarily been comfortable with if I was the family. But that's me. Whatever. So we get there, we have the ceremony, and of course everybody goes around and says what they don't like, and that was what they said was that, they felt like, that William is controlling and she's not appropriate, and they didn't take the proper amount of time in between um, the wedding, her last marriage and this relationship, and that they just not ready for it, okay? Now, after we done talked about this Instagram picture forever, we finally see the Instagram picture, and I'm like, you know what, cousin, you was putting 20 on 10. You can clearly see the girl got pants on. And she may or may not, now according to Ashley, she had a bra on. But she may or may not, but I didn't think it was that bad. But I can also see how William could say, hey, I didn't think that was appropriate for my woman to be posted like that. I can respect that. And at the end, what we found out is that he now takes the pictures for her and they upload them together and he sees what she uploads. I do think there's a level of respect. And I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is some other things that William did. So William has to go grocery shopping with her family, and she's going to play 20 questions with his family. So when they go grocery shopping, Lord, of course, Brian, who's the brother, Brian wasn't here for none of it. I think that's his name. He wasn't here for none of it. Like I said, I don't think it was anything William could have done. He just felt like he just don't like him. He doesn't like him with his sister. But the grandmother and the cousin, I think, were listening to him, and I think they were taking it in a little bit. So while they were shopping, while they were doing their exercises, the one thing that kept coming up on both sides was William being controlling. When the family was asking Ashley questions, that was one of the first questions that they asked. Do you think William is controlling? And her answer was, well, in the beginning I did. Because he would just make these demands of me and wouldn't explain why. So that sounds to me like he's talking to you like a child. Because that's what you do with a child. You say, hey, go clean your room. Why? Because I said so. You know what I mean? Like, you don't talk to adults like that. And you don't talk to people that you are trying to be equally yoked with, that you're trying to share a life with. Like, Then while they were at the grocery store, they asked him again, and he said, well, I don't want y'all to feel like Ashley is changing because of me. She's changing because she wants to be, she wants a closer relationship with God. And so she, I just explained to her that her Instagram posts need to be less revealing and more spiritual and more reflective of a woman of God, And they told him, they were like, well, from the outside looking in, that seems very, like you're controlling that. And he was like, no, that's, that's her wanting, and I did tell her what I expect from a wife, but I don't think that that's wrong. It depends on what the hell you said. Yeah, that's what you want from a wife, but it depends on what you said about what you want from a wife. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, and like I said, they talked about that damn Instagram picture, whatever. They wouldn't let that go. So we're at dinner, and they bring up the Instagram picture. What they bring that Instagram picture up for? So they bring the Instagram picture up, and William and Ashley get to going back and forth about this damn Instagram picture. And the brother jumped in and was like, dude, like, why are we sitting here arguing over a damn picture? It is just a picture, like, let's move on. And so him and the brother got to it, and this is where I got really irritated. I don't know if her brother is on the spectrum as far as LGBTQIA. It seems like it, but he hasn't confirmed it, so I don't want to make an assumption. However, William must have assumed the same thing, or maybe William knows. Because William started making comments to him, well, why don't you just be a man? Why don't you man up? Stop acting like a girl all the time and be a man. And see, that's where we have a problem. That's where we have a problem. Because first of all, if you think that he's on the spectrum, then those comments you made were very insensitive. If you know that he's on the spectrum, then those comments are very homophobic. Because what is the assumption is that he's not a man? Now don't get me wrong, Brian got a mouth on him and he was giving his good. I don't know if that boy named Brian, the brother. He give as good as he got, so I'm not saying that he sat around and he didn't say nothing at all, because he was good. They were going back and forth, and it got really nasty, it got really heated, William walked off, and Ashley was upset because, of course, that's her brother and her soon-to-be husband, and you kind of in the middle of it. And honestly, for me, it just set off a red flag for me. And again, I don't know this man. I'm not putting nothing on him, but it really set off a red flag for me. It did. It really did, y'all. So Ashley was like, listen, she went to Will and was like, listen, the stuff you said to my brother, it offended me. Like, you can't say that stuff. And, they kept saying stuff that was just that was just warnings to me. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying not to go where I used to go. I'm trying not to be the person I used to be. I'm working on myself. And it sounds like, he can go to 0 to 100. Like, that's who he is. Here's where I really got alarmed about the whole situation was when they went for their session that next morning, and even the counselor, Terry, Tracy, even Tracy said that he's exhibiting and she's exhibiting signs of abuse. She said, I ain't saying you're abusive. I'm saying these are the things, these are the triggers, these are the warnings. And basically, if you were my client, like outside of this setting, girl, even to the point of her saying you're making excuses. You're making excuses for him. And so she sent them on. She sent Will to go apologize to the brother, whose name is Eric or Derek. I was all wrong with Brian. Sorry. She said, and then she sent Ashley to go look for dresses with all the women. So it was just gonna be William and Eric at the house, and then all of the women. Now the women had a great time. I mean, who doesn't have fun trying on bridal dresses? They had a good time. She found a dress, and even the dress that she found, which was gorgeous on her, but it was, it was cut here. It was no shoulders. It was, y'all know, I don't know the name of that shit. Anyway, even then she said, well, I love this dress. It's me. It's beautiful. It's this, it's that. But I'm going to get something here because, Eric is not going to be, William, he's not going to want me to be showing all of this and having all of this out. And so, again, that said to me right there, ding, 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 you said that dress was you. You said that was it. That was the dress. That was perfect. That was representative of who you are. And then you were, but I have to add all of this because William is not going to like this. I don't know. I know that there has to be a level of give and take in a marriage. I know there has to be some compromise. Like, I get that. But I just saw a lot of her compromising and her bending, and I didn't see him doing nothing. Now, he did go to apologize to Eric. And Eric wouldn't take his apology. Eric was like, nope, you meant what you said. You meant, like, and I understand it from a point of view of, especially when you start talking about those homophobic slurs, it's kind of like you have a white friend, and the minute y'all get into an argument, they want to call you a nigga, and then when y'all cool down, they want to say, I'm so sorry, I should have never said that. I don't know what I was thinking. That was so disrespectful. But you went there real quick. And so if I'm the person, I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, nah, you meant that. You meant it. You might not have meant to say it, but you've been thinking it. He even told him, get you a woman. Again, what you saying, bruh? Man up. Stop acting like a girl. Get you a woman. Like, what you saying, bruh? So, he wouldn't accept the apology. So, when they got back from the bridal shop, now, Ashley is a little irritated because Ashley is like, listen, he tried to apologize. He came to you with some sincerity and you won't accept his apology. And he was like, and I'm not. I'm not going to accept his apology, and I'm not. And so she was talking to the rest of the ladies and basically trying to get all of them to see, to get Eric to see their point, Eric or Derek, to see their point of view, and that he should just accept the apology and move on with William. And William was like, he wouldn't even take my apology. He wouldn't even take my apology. Baby, honey, Derek took his happy ass up them steps, packed his bags, and he left. I ain't never seen that before. I've seen people threaten to leave. I ain't never seen in 25 episodes somebody leave. But honey, he was on his phone. He called him a good Uber, and he got the hell up out of there. And this is how I notice who he is, that he's just a brat. Because it came off very nasty and very bratty. But his grandmother tried to talk to him, and he wouldn't even talk to her. Like, you can tell that is just who he is, and that because grandma was just like, okay, well, come on back, come on, come on. And he was like, nope, I'm not coming back. And even the next day, he was supposed to come back for the blessing ceremony, and he didn't. He never came back. And again, I'm not saying that he was innocent. I'm just saying that I think that Williams, see, again, you cannot force somebody to accept an apology. You can give it, you can hope that they accept it, but you can't get mad because somebody don't want your apology. And I feel like that's what happened. Now, I'm not saying that Eric/Derek, I'm not saying he's innocent, because like I said, he had a mouth on him and he was giving as good as he got, and he did have an attitude. So I'm not by any stretch of the imagination defending any of his behavior, because his behavior was disrespectful too. But again, whether he is in the community or people just mistake him for being in the community, I'm sure that that's a sensitive area for him, and it's something he's had to deal with. And I think maybe those words cut a little bit deeper. And I don't even think it was about his sister at that point. I think it was about him and the fact that he was hurt. And they're trying to force him to accept this apology that he's not ready to accept. Because for him, it went a little deeper. It wasn't just us arguing and going back and forth. Now, I could be putting 20 on 10. But that's from where I sat. Because that's how I felt. I felt some kind of way. So, anyway, ride, roo-da-roo-da-roo. We went through that. We went through this. Boo-da-boo-da-bye. We get to the blessing ceremony. And, like I said, brother never came back. So, we can just assume his answers are no. He ain't never come back. The mamas were like, yeah. Well, grandma said, yeah. His mother said, yeah. She said, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling you. But once we went to the bridal shop, something just sort of happened. It made me see you in a different way. And I'll be glad to see you be in my family, da-da-da-da-da. Baby, they got around to his sister. And his sister said, when I got here, I wasn't feeling you. And I'm still not feeling you. And no, you can't have my blessing. I see. Oh. But you know what, though? I'm so glad to see that, because I feel like some of these families come on here and they know good and damn well that these couples ain't ready to get married, but they don't want to say nothing. Like that gay couple that was fighting, damn near about to get into a physical altercation, and by the end, y'all was like, I give y'all my blessing. Ain't no way in hell I'm going somewhere, because again, see, I'm about to go left. Let me get back. Let me come back to the center. Because there's no way in hell that if that were a man and a woman, and they almost got into a physical altercation, that y'all would have been at the end of the weekend like, yeah, y'all should go on and get married. Y'all wouldn't have done that. But because it was two men, y'all was cool with it. Child. Anyway, I'm sorry. See, I done went left. Let me come back here. Center. So anyway, that was pretty much the episode. They not married yet. They still trying to plan a destination wedding at the end of the year. Hope COVID don't get them. Maybe that'll give them some more time to work on themselves and work some things out, child. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.